Hey there, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia video, and today we're going to be talking about the latest episode to drop, Light Fades to Rain, which follows off from that massive cliffhanger ending where Shigaraki snapped Bakugo's arm and laid waste to the rest of the heroes, leaving them pretty worse for wear. And before we go any further, I would like to say I have read the manga, but it's mostly all just faded, slipped away from my mind at this point except for the big Bakugo moment later on. And so with all that being said, jump into things, shall we? So once again, no cold open, just a recap of Bakugo and the heroes getting slapped around, and only doing superficial damage to Shigaraki's face, whilst all the while, he taunts them about how he's simply playing around till Midoriya turns up. And so yeah, from that, into the intro theme, back to the battle, where poor old Aizawa, he can only sit and watch as his team is dismantled by Shigaraki. And one of his beloved students just got battered and he can't do shit about it. Only stare and make sure that Shigaraki can't turn on his quirks for even a second, otherwise everybody, and I mean everybody, dies horribly. And yeah, really cool to see this. He's straight up panicking. He's yelling at Mandalay, asking her why she can't use her quirk to contact Deku, begging the other pro heroes present at the battle to try and protect Bakugo, as he's only a student, he has his whole life and dreams to fulfill. God, Aizawa's just the best, isn't he? I really love when that distant facade breaks away and he activates his Papa Bear mode. It's just really wholesome. But yeah, it looks like no pro heroes are up and at him right now as Bakugo keeps getting slapped around by Shigaraki with no interference, as he waxes poetic about how he's excited for Deku to turn up, so he can show him Bakugo's beaten corpse and make him super angry, even angrier than last time. Man, this guy's a menace! But on the bright side, the big three are ready to fight, as Mirio's turned up to the battlefield and Sun Eater and Nejire are back up. Coming into this, I kind of had a feeling they were going to end up just being straight fodder, so I was very hopeful they'd get some big moments this episode, because I don't see them figuring into the end game of the overall battle, if we're being perfectly honest. But yeah, Shigaraki's toying with Bakugo, stepping on his head, choking him, teasing him, just brutalizing him really. Nejire jumps in, but she has to redirect her attack because Shigaraki uses Bakugo as a human shield. Sun Eater then poisons him, only for a disgusting little mouth to open on his body and spit out the poison. And then he goes full Eldritch Horror. Just full on kill it with fire levels of disgusting. He starts chasing him around trying to kill him, and I gotta say, this is probably the most unsettling fight we've seen so far. And it hasn't even really been gruesome just yet, or all that overly violent. It's just really yucky. Gives you the ick to see this guy with his finger tentacles and his mouths and his teeth, just everything awful. And yeah, he talks shit, and why wouldn't he? He shrugged off their attacks and has them on the back foot, only for Mirio to come in out of nowhere and snatch away Bakugo before tossing him to Best Jeanist, who is also looking very worse for wear, I'll tell you what. He's bleeding heavily from the face. What happened to him again? Is that all from the All Might style air pressure attack? Damn. Prime All Might was busted if he could do that without even hitting you, just make you bleed. But then Mirio's back to fighting, and despite being in terms of pure power, the weakest character in this fight by far, I think, his quirk is super versatile, letting him carry Nejire's energy blast and phase through Shigaraki to punch him in the stomach. Oh man, Lemillion is the best. I've really missed him. I'm glad they reversed that overhaul stuff and gave him back his quirk, because it's fun to see a character like this who can compete by being quick and skilled and being able to chip away at an enemy, rather than just take them down with one punch or something like that. More tactical than just strength-based. And meanwhile, Bakugo's being tended to by Jeanist, and we get a very wholesome moment here too, because Jeanist at first tries to rush him back into the battle. He wants to rush and heal him so he can keep fighting, only to notice Bakugo's crying. And in that moment, Jeanist decides that he's done enough for the team. He's trying to prevent him getting more injured, yes, but he also wants to preserve his spirit, even here in the final battle. Damn it, these mentors today, they're just giving me the feels. But he also notices pretty quickly that despite it all, despite Bakugo being broken and scared, he's still planning attacks. He's still trying to figure out Shigaraki's movements and patterns, and all because he's just built different. And all the while, the other heroes are trying to contend with the tentacles and buy time, whilst Mirio's just doing his best. He's just trying to have some generic banter with Shigaraki about how he obviously has no friends, because somebody with friends would understand why doing all this is bad. You know, just standard heroes versus villains type of dialogue and banter, only for Shigaraki to freak out at him and say, no, I do too have friends, screaming at him like a little boy. And I don't know, this was just very funny to me. Shigaraki's shocked face realizing what he'd said, and that somewhere deep down Tenko Shimura lives on, combined with Mirio's equally shocked face, and his apology, and then getting swept away by the tentacles, just lacking any sort of understanding as to what the hell's going on. Also, this scene, it made me fairly sure that they're going to try for some sort of redemption arc with Shigaraki and Deku, where at the very least, Shigaraki is going to defy All for One, because you wouldn't keep hinting at it unless it was going to bear fruit, unless they want to do the most unsatisfying turn to darkness ever. But yeah, Shigaraki, he's not a mindless idiot, unlike some villains. He has goals and agency, and seems to really want to kill Bakugo, so he's going to ignore Lemillion and keep marching on. Going nice and slow, of course, for dramatic effect, since surely with his body, he could have been there in the blink of an eye. My god though, look at that animation, it's honestly insane. That shot of Genis and Bakugo facing down the finger serpents with tiny little Shigaraki walking slowly towards them, and the mouths and the gross. That shot is an all-timer for this show, I reckon. We then have a brief montage of the heroes attacking Shigaraki's limbs. He shoots some more fingers at Nejire. Then we have a rather unexpected and honestly somewhat out of place flashback for her, where she, surprise, because apparently everyone was in this world, she was bullied by her peers who were stuck up and jealous of her, thinking that she'd look down on them because of her great quirk, and so they struck first. And this caused her to be closed off and distant from everybody, until Tamaki's shy and awkward personality brought her out of her shell, as he tried to make conversation with her and ask her who her favourite hero was. And this led to her making her first two friends at UA, Tamaki and Mirio. And yeah, this scene was cute and all, but I don't know, it kind of came out of nowhere for me. I liked it, but I still don't really think it fit all that well. I guess it was to show that Tamaki is the one who helped her, and thus, whilst he's quiet and you probably underestimate him, he does have value. But still, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it that much. And then we see it's revealed that this whole time, he's just been charging up his plasma cannon that he's built by using his quirk and various different foods. God, his quirk is fun. And yeah, from the get-go, it was clear that this was going to be like the attack on Shigi from Bakugo last episode. Very epic and awesome and strong, but ultimately futile. But it would be to the point that you want it to work. You know it won't, but you want them to succeed. You want him to get destroyed. Big-time Gohan versus Cell vibes, where he just vaporizes the tentacles. And yeah, that shot is amazing. Like, seriously amazing, where it just vaporizes all the growths. But ultimately, it of course doesn't work, because Shigaraki counterattacks and almost kills them all in one shot again. And I just gotta say, this is such a good fight. It's very slow, yes, but I love the bleak nature of it, in which you know that nothing's gonna work, but you want it to work so badly. It's just great tension, great drama, and you're just waiting to see who's gonna get got next. And then Baka goes back up, and we get this top tier sequence where he ascends to the next level of his quirk. He's sweating and exploding out of every pore of his body, not just his hands now, which in turn lets him move super fast, faster than Shigaraki can really keep track of, which lets him get in a bunch of heavy hits, which in turn gets Shigaraki super flustered. His All For One memories kick in, and he's brought back to his confrontations with the second user of All For One, who was probably a bit of a Chad. And then the music's swelling, Bakugo's reflecting on Deku and their path to become heroes, he's looking at a vestige of All Might in his mind, holding out his hero card from when he was a kid that he always wanted autographed. Then they all converge, all the heroes together, and they attack. And it seems like from the strain, Bakugo's heart explodes and he straight up dies. Like, chest explodes. Whilst it cuts away to his mum worrying about him, as it looks like it's about to rain, and he hates the rain. Man, that was sad. And honestly, this is the last 100% spoiler that I know for a fact. So, I'm kind of in shock with this. And so is everybody in the team. Holy shit. Like, this is a big plot point. And whilst I'm pretty sure it's a misdirect, like fairly certain, it is still a massive moment. Insane. Although, if Gran Torino's still alive, there's no chance Bakugo's dead yet. The jury's out on this for now. And, yeah, the preview promises even more carnage from all the other battles. Look, Darby's back up, of course. So yeah, not much else to say really. This episode was really, really good. This arc has been top tier. I'm loving it so far. The battles have been really epic, emotional, tense. I want more, but apparently there's a break coming, so that's just lovely. And so with all that being said, these have been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of this episode? You like it? Hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.